Happy July 4th. You know, it's unfortunate when you walk through the streets on July 4th, you barely notice any difference between July 4th and any other day. If you go to Israel on Israel's Independence Day, everyone's out in the streets with flags, with banners. You could feel the celebration. But we as Americans should really celebrate our patriotism, our love for our country. There should be flags flying all over in honor of July 4th. You know, we talk about the separation of church and state, or synagogue and state. But for us Jews, it's very hard to separate between the synagogue and the state, because the beliefs of Judaism are interwoven with the foundation of our great country, the United States of America. You could pick up any coin, whether it's a nickel, a dime, a quarter, and you will see that the three greatest principles of America are also the three greatest principles of Judaism. In the Talmud, there's a discussion as to what is the most important verse in the Torah. And there are three rabbis. One rabbi, Rabbi Akiva, says, it's love your neighbor as yourself. The second rabbi, Ben Azai, says, it's the verse that God made every human being in his image. And then the third rabbi, Ben Zoma, says, the most important verse is, Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one. And it's interesting that on every piece of currency, every coin, you find on the front, it says the word liberty. Now, what does it mean, freedom, liberty? So the Constitution says that because we were all created equally, endowed by our Creator with equal rights, we are all entitled to the blessing of liberty. So our liberty, our freedoms comes from the fact that we are created by one God and we are all in His image, and all human beings are equally entitled to their freedom. So on the front of the quarter or nickel or dime, it says liberty, which is the verse that is in the beginning of Genesis that Ben Azai quotes. In God's image, every human being was created, and therefore we're all entitled to our freedom and our liberty. And that's what this country is built on, freedom. Freedom of expression, freedom of religion, and every other freedom granted to us. And that is a tremendous blessing that we have to celebrate. Then when you turn over the coin, what does it say? It says, in God we trust. This is the verse that is quoted by Ben Zoma, that the most important verse in the Torah is, Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one. Belief in one God is on every coin. Again, the second principle of Judaism is on every piece of currency. In God we trust. And finally, the third opinion of Rabbi Akiva, love your neighbor as yourself. Every coin says, I pluribus unum, from many one. That even though we are diverse and different, we all have to be united in one. We have to love each other like ourselves, be one entity. And once again, we see how Judaism's greatest principles are all found in the foundation of our great country, the United States of America. Today on the Hebrew calendar is the 28th day of Sivan. It's also the day that Chabad celebrates the day that the Lubavitcher Rebbe, Rabbi Menachem Mendel Schneerson, and his wife, Chaya Rivka, managed to escape the Nazis in France, in Paris, and get a visa to immigrate to the United States of America. And today is the day that they arrived in America. And actually 6 years later, on this day again, by divine providence, the 28th day of Sivan, the Rebbe's mother, Rebbe Tzimchana, managed to escape Russia and come to the United States. And this country hosted the Rebbe and his wife. And that's why the Rebbe survived the Nazis and was able to build a worldwide movement of Chabad institutions. And actually this Shabbat, we're going to be observing the 30th yahrzeit of the Rebbe at the synagogue. And we invite everyone to come hear our guest speaker, Rabbi Moshe Brisky. We're going to have a Shabbat dinner. All of these contributions was thanks to the American welcome that they gave to the Rebbe and the freedom of religion to carry on at 770 Eastern Parkway his religious community and observances and growth of Judaism. And the same thing is true for me personally. My grandparents survived the Holocaust, Auschwitz, and went to DP camps and finally were granted entry into America. That's why I am here. And so America has granted us the greatest blessings. And therefore we should be proud to be Americans. We should be proud to be Jews. And if anyone says to you, well, dual loyalty, how could you be loyal to America if you're loyal to Israel? That's like saying, how could you be loyal to your mother and your father? It's dual loyalty. Your mother and father want the same things, the same values, the same beliefs. And so too, America and Israel are the greatest allies because we share these great values as Jews and as Americans. And therefore we should be proud to be Jewish, and we should be proud to be American. And yes, we should wave our flags today and say, thank God I'm an American. Unfortunately, so many people today are apologizing for the exceptionalism of America and ashamed to say that they are American. We believe in exceptionalism, but it's not just a privilege, it's a responsibility, both as Jews and as Americans, to use our exceptionalism as we have for the betterment of Tikkun Olam. They tell a story of an immigrant, a Jewish immigrant who came to America, and he had to take a train to a certain city, but he didn't speak English, so his friend in Yiddish explained to him how you go to the train station and get a ticket and travel to that city. And he came to the train station, he saw two lines. One was short and one was long. Didn't know the difference. He went on the short line. Turns out that the short line was for those who are buying first-class tickets. So he buys the first-class ticket, but he doesn't know he has a first-class ticket. So when the train comes, he gets on the last car. When the conductor comes around to collect the tickets, he sees some people next to him hide under their seat because they didn't have tickets. But he didn't know. He thought maybe that's what you do in America. You hide under the seat when the conductor comes on. So he gets under the seat. But his legs were sticking out, and the conductor catches him and pulls him out and starts yelling at him, why did you get on the train without a ticket? You're stealing, you're cheating. This poor Jew doesn't speak English. He doesn't know what the conductor's saying. So he just pulls the ticket out of his pocket and shows it to the conductor. The conductor says to him, you're carrying a first-class ticket, and not only are you sitting in the last car, but you're hiding under the seat. Each and every one of us has been given 2 first-class tickets. As Jews and as Americans, we should ride the train of life in the first car with our heads held high, proud to be Jews, proud to be Americans, proud of the relationship between the United States and Israel, and never be ashamed or hide in the last car underneath the seat. Happy New Year's. L'chaim to the United States of America. May it continue to be a bastion of freedom and light for all of humanity. Have a celebratory day.